With the parameter set up for the animation, I'm going to go into Inventor Studio. First thing I want to do is create a new animation and then activate that animation. Now the length of the animation by default is 30 seconds. I think that's too long. I'm going to drop that back to 10. 10 seconds, 15 seconds is normally long enough in any mechanical animation. I'm going to create a camera. Then I'm going to turn off the image of the camera icon. Turn off its visibility. I'm going to make camera 1 the current camera. So the first constraint I'm going to animate is between the robot and the wall. And that was set to 22 plus inches. Keep in mind that I have to stop it short by 6.6, otherwise it'll drive through the wall. Specify the time that will happen over, so checking my storyboard, I've got 0 to 3 seconds for that first part. Now at 3 seconds we're kind of far away from the robot, so what I want to do is zoom in, show the robot against the wall, and then having done that, add a camera action. That was why I created the camera. So between 0 and 3 it will transition from the original view to this view. I want to do the same thing between 3 seconds and 4 seconds, and that is I want to zoom into the scoop bucket at the front of the robot. So add a second camera action. Now I can start animating the constraints. So between the floor and the scoop, I've got the drive me scoop and floor constraint. I'm going to change that from 180 and just through 10 degrees. In this case I'm starting at 4. I want that to happen pretty quickly so the spherical object rolls back into the scoop bucket. So we'll do that over 4.5 seconds. Now when I do that, of course, you can see it bumps into the floor and the wall. So I need to drag the robot back and raise the arm to prevent that. Let's start by dragging the robot back. It's currently at 6.6. Let's move it back to 10, and we'll do that fairly quickly. Starting at 4, I'm going to end that at 5.5. So you can see from the image on the screen that it's no longer hitting the wall, but it is still hitting the floor, so we have to raise the arm. So I'm going to animate the constraint that belongs to that C channel. And that's the new Drive Me Claw Arm 2 that I created. It's currently negative 7.5 degrees. We'll move it through about 45-50 degrees. So we'll end at 45. We're going to start at 4. And for this animation, I'm going to make that end at 8 seconds. So you can see now that the robot's no longer in the camera view, so I need to fix that. So let's go to the end. Let's go to 10 seconds. Change back to the home view. And create another camera view. So I'm going to add a camera action. So between 4 seconds and 10 seconds it will transition back to that view. One more constraint to animate, and it is returning the robot back to its original position. So drive me wall and robot. Starting at 10, we'll end at around 22, and the time specification is correct, 5.5 to 10. So I'm now ready to create the animation. Before I do that, I'm just going to check. So it zooms in, the robot moves towards the wall, the bucket and the arm are rotated, and the robot moves back to its original position. I'm now ready to render the animation. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the default values, such as camera 1, current lighting, and so on. I've set my width and height to 800 by 600. You can change the lighting if you wish. You can experiment with those. I've set anti-aliasing to high, the frame rate to 24. Now here's an important point. If you want to just check your animation, check preview no render. That will only take a couple of minutes. This particular animation took almost 5 hours to create. So I've gone ahead and rendered that animation, and here you can see the end result.